Okay, so I found this app called Mureka, which is meant to create music with AI. And I thought it was amazing, and I created a song that I loved. And that is amazing because I have no musical talent, I have no musical training whatsoever, and I never thought I would do something that I think is so good that I would expect others to listen all the time, to dedicate the song to people and stuff like that. So during this video, I'm gonna walk you through how I was using this app, what I learned, the experience, and the implications that I think it has for creation and digital creators or maybe professional musicians. So first things first, how does it work? Mureka is an app. It just allows you to create AI songs based on inspirations and with your own lyrics. It has an interface where you input the lyrics and then you choose some inspiration song from the library that it has, or if you pay for the pro version, it lets you upload your own music or music that you have, and it uses it as an inspiration to generate your song. I did my very first song in less than 5 minutes, and I still like it over a month later. So this is it.
A summer's day, thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath altered short to date. Sometime too hot, the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance when nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou oust, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines the time thou growst. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives rise to thee.
You probably recognize the lyrics, and if you didn't, it's a very well-known sonnet by Shakespeare, commonly known as Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day. I am a Shakespeare geek, I love him, and I love the sonnet, obviously, and I thought, well, for my very first song, I'm gonna use very good lyrics, so that was obviously the first place I want to look for in the sonnet I love. And it did very well. I mean, obviously the words that have some lyricism into them, and some musicality already, so it was almost obvious that it was going to work. What I wasn't expecting is that it would work so well into a genre that is completely different than what it's usually listened to. So I asked myself, okay, how can I do this better? I tried to learn how to write songs, and I write fiction, I can write theater, and I thought, well, maybe I can use that skill in order to write lyrics for songs. The problem I had is that English is not my first language, so I have some problems with the sounding, with the lyricism of it. Making rhymes is not very easy for me because my vocabulary doesn't come as fast as I like, and stuff like that. But I am very good at writing stories, so I said, I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna try to write a song with a story that I love, and I use this story of mine about these two lovers that meet and kiss for the first time. And what I did is I wrote some verses, the main parts that I wanted to have, and of course the story, and I went into ChatGPT. I used AI as most as I could to generate this music. So it transformed it into a proper lyrics for a song. It gave it the right format. It created rhymes and stuff. And after 2 or 3 iterations with ChatGPT, I said, change this, change that. I came to something that I was very satisfied with. And I input these lyrics into Mureka, and I tried to repeat the process, just inspiring from other music. But this time it didn't work that well. So Mureka has another feature where instead of generating the song based into some other song that you teach it, you can just create a prompt, and in the prompt you say, okay, I want the music to be a jazz with this and this characteristics. And when I did that, the songs that it generated were amazing. It generated 2 versions, one male and one female voice, and I loved the 2 of them. I think they're really, really good songs. Because it tells a story, it fits very well with the feeling, the music fits very well with the feeling that I was trying to convey with the story I'm telling. But I was still afraid that I was so in love with the song, because it's a story that I really, really like, about these 2 lovers, and they have their first kiss inside a cave. It's a beautiful story. So I thought maybe I'm gonna go with something that I am not so in love with. And I tried another one, and I said I'm gonna use a very good anecdote, which isn't mine, but I like a lot. I remember I was at a masterclass with John Carpenter, who is the director of Halloween and some other sci-fi and horror movies. And he told this story that I just think is the best. When he was about 4 years old, his father would take him to the cinema, to the movies, and he would love it. And like every kid, he would ask himself, where do these people come from that they are in the screen? Are they behind the screen? How do they get there? So he asked to his father, and his father said, no, they're not behind the screen, they come from back there. So he looks back at the projectionist booth, and he sees the beam of light coming from that little window. And at that moment, he imagines these people, beings of light, or living inside the light, right there to get into the cinema screen. And I think it's just one of the most poetic ways to think of film. That's why I love it. So I made a song about it. Again, what I did is I tried to make some verses. I went into ChatGPT, I asked to create a song with it. And again, it gave me very good, at some point it gave me some very good verses and full lyrics of the song. So I took it to Mureka and I generated a couple songs. And the thing that happened there is that when I heard the songs with those lyrics, I realized that something wasn't working, but in the lyrics themselves. But it happened when I was listening to the music already, when it was already a version of the song. So I went back to ChatGPT and I decided to change some of the images, some of the words using to create the images of the story I was telling. So I had a corrected version of the song, went back again to Mureka, and then started generating more versions of the song. And again, I tried inspiring from other music, and it quite wasn't working. So I ended up generating a prompt, and the prompt wasn't working so well when I said it was a rock song. And what is a very good feature of this app is that while it's processing with a prompt, it's analyzing and it displays the result of the analysis in English, saying stuff like, okay, this song is trying to portray the world of a child, fantasy childlike world, or stuff like that. And then it goes into the technical part of the music. The beat should be like an aria or stuff like that. And it's very useful for someone like me, at least, because I ended up, while it was processing, I read what it was processing, and then I learned, for example, what syncopation is, because I was trying to make a jazz song. And when I saw what it was, I said, yeah, that's right, that's what I want. Or I would say, this version is not gonna be the one I love, because that's not what I think. And then through doing it again and again, I found myself writing prompts, a prompt like, it's an indie rock song with no percussions whatsoever, and the beat should come from a string instrument or wind instrument, expecting it would come from like a bass guitar. And that's very, very surprising that I was doing that, because to a certain point I was composing already with a very clear intention on how I wanted my music to be. Without, again, as I said before, I have no musical training whatsoever and no composing training. The song that I created by the end was a jazz song, this anecdote of John Carpenter that I'm telling you, and it's a very good song, in my opinion at least. I'm gonna leave it, and I'm gonna leave you with it. So, I'm gonna leave you with the music. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I'd love to know what you think. Please leave in the comments if you're a musician, would you be using it? What do you think? If you're not a musician, if you are just a music aficionado, do you like, or do you mind that the music is generated through artificial intelligence? All of that. I'm leaving links in the description to my Spotify list now, to the Mureka app, of course, if you want to test it. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
I was 4 years old, the world felt so tall, walking through those velvet halls. The screen lit up a world so wide, I thought the people lived inside. I whispered, Papa, where do they hide? Are they just behind that curtain of white? You smiled at me with gentle pride and turned me slowly toward the light. I saw people made of light, riding on a beam across the night, shifting colors, shadows take a guide